let's talk about the deep state rot and what they don't want you to hear. Donald Trump is once again shaking the very foundations of the globalist war machine. And today, Trump called for not just an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine, a conflict that, of course, has drained billions of dollars from United States taxpayers and cost hundreds of thousands of lives. But he also sent a clear message to Washington: stay out of Syria. So here was President Trump just a short time ago meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky. Now, this is the actual video, okay? Here's Zelensky, and there's Emmanuel Macron. Now, watch Emmanuel Macron. He's like, I'm going to get in the middle of you guys here. I got to step right in here for the photographic opportunity here. So that was the original photo. And then, of course, now, as a result of this meeting, there's been all sorts of memes that have exploded over. Look at this. This is one of my favorites here. Yes, climbing up on the little high chair, little tiny Zelensky there. Like, hi, little fella. Hi, you little dwarf.
I saw memes online that said Trump was going to demand that he wear a suit. Unfortunately, that didn't seem to be the case. I love that people are like, I'm floored.
As a result of this meeting, here's another one. I just love all of these like little shrunken Zelensky memes. Mm-hmm. So funny. Anyway, here's the actual meeting face to face. They actually met. First up, Ukraine. Let's talk about this. Trump, where he met with Emmanuel Macron, Ukrainian dictator Zelensky. Zelensky asked him for more weapons, more money. This is after Speaker Johnson put an end to this last week. Trump said nope. Told Zelensky right to his tiny little rat face to end this war right now, a ceasefire. In fact, he said it's in. He told him in no uncertain terms, not a decade from now, not next year, but now, he told him straight to his face. He laid it out plainly. He said the Ukraine's ridiculous loss of 400,000 soldiers is a catastrophe, and dragging this war on any longer risks spiraling into something far worse. He told him right to his face. Put in place an immediate ceasefire. Immediately. There's no ambiguity there. This is the exact opposite, of course, what Antony Blinken, NATO, and President Biden, whatever's left of him, is pushing
Olaf
for
Scholz
in Ukraine.
And other, warmongers in Germany, especially, that loves the war.
No, they want to keep continuing this. So cabal, or at very least, NATO countries will have to pay their fair share instead of using footing the bill for everything. Watch.
NATO's taken advantage of us because look, two things. Number one, they take advantage of us on trade, meaning the European nations, okay, like terrible. They don't take our cars, they don't take our food product, they don't take anything. It's a disgrace. And on top of that, we defend them. So it's a double whammy. So let me just tell you, I was able to get hundreds of billions of dollars put into NATO just by a tough attitude. I said to the countries, I'm not going to protect you unless you pay. And they started paying. And that amounted to more than $600 billion. That's a big thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be fighting. They wouldn't have any money to fight. If they...
And so
they're crapheads. I agree. Let's ditch them.
So get out of it. I mean, as Colonel Douglas McGregor has said on our show, I mean, it's dead. It was never, a defensive organization anyway. It's become, right from its outset, really, it was an offensive organization masquerading as a defensive organization. Antony Blinken saying we will bring Zelensky and Ukraine into NATO. Mm-hmm. That's on the path. Trump doesn't want that at all. And Zelensky had this to say about being invited into NATO. He said, you can't talk to Trump about it because he's not the president of the United States yet. So I'm not going to talk to him about it. I'm going to talk to Biden and see if basically he can squeeze us into NATO before the end of the year, before he's out of office. Listen.
Що стосується, наприклад, запрошення в НАТО, то тут складно сьогодні говорити з президентом Трампом, бо він ще не в Білому домі. У нього немає всіх цих юридичних прав, і від нього не залежить.
So it doesn't depend on him. He's not in the White House yet.
He says that when he's out of the room.
Right.
Not to his face.
Would he say that right to his face? I mean, look, and a lot of Democrats say, the reports in Washington, that Democrats are pissed that basically the Biden administration is sort of kowtowing to Trump's foreign policy right now. They're sort of being quiet, and they're on the world stage. You're seeing President Trump. He's not president yet. He's president-elect. He's in France. On the global stage, having meetings about NATO, having meetings with Zelensky, having meetings with Macron.
Well, that happens, Democrats, when you kick your own president out. When you coup him, he's not going to do what you want. Yeah. That's so funny, right, how that works when you stab somebody in the back and then they don't do what you want. Yeah, that's so confusing. That's confusing to you? It's not very confusing to me. I got it. But okay.
But see, the deep state is still operating. So it really doesn't, you can say all that in public, but what's happening behind the scenes is an undermining process, which is happening. And you saw President Biden come out in front of the camera the other day to praise the collapse of the Assad government in Syria. So, of course, President Bashar al-Assad is now in Moscow. He's been given amnesty there and is being protected in Moscow. He left around midnight as the collapse of the Syrian government was unfolding. And President Biden and the Washington Democrats and, of course, the warmongers are very excited now that al-Qaeda is running Syria. But they won't call him al-Qaeda. They'll call him like sort of their revised version of it, right? The normalizing of al-Qaeda in Syria is remarkable. And again, we're going to speak with Kevork Almasian here in a minute about the fall of that and collapse of that government. So you think Washington would see this as a chance to stand down? Like, all right, why would we get ourselves involved in Syria right now? Let's step out. Let's get away from there. But no, they're ramping up rhetoric, more intervention. Biden, talking about additional weapons and support into Syria. Trump today said flat out, no. He understands what the deep state refuses to. Endless wars doesn't make America safer. He wants us to get out of Syria, which is something that Congressman Matt Gaetz, of course, called upon in Congress to end our involvement in Syria, and the warmongers in Congress voted against it. President Trump supports this position, get out of Syria. There's no reason for us to stand there and be in the middle of a fight. And he said this about the warmongers who want to keep us in these perpetual wars.
Just as importantly, bringing back empowerment will give us a crucial tool with which to obliterate the deep state, drain the swamp, and starve the warmongers, these people that want wars all over the place, killing. They love killing. And the globalists out of our government. We're going to get the warmongers and the globalists out of our government.
Yeah, hallelujah.
They love killing. I don't.
Killing. They love killing.
I did miss his rhetoric a little bit. That's a lot more fun than what we get out of the Biden administration.
So, again, they want to be, the CIA actively wants to be helping Israel take over Syria, destroy that country, reposition their Israel, of course, is already invaded in southern Syria, and, of course, Turkey in the north. In the CIA helping to facilitate all of this, and they're sort of rebranding basically the new leader of whatever is left of Syria, even though he's al-Qaeda. He's beheaded people on camera before. Like, he's our guy. Of course, the neocons are like, yeah, this guy, he was a bad guy. Now he's our guy,
No, we were primed for this during the Obama administration. We were simultaneously fighting al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and arming them under the name al-Nusra in Syria. And Obama went on camera and called them moderates, like right. Diet Coke, like just extremist light. And that was okay. No, they're the same. They've always been the same. If we didn't know that, it's because we believed it under the cool facade of Barack Obama. But we've been heading this way for decades, in fact, since the 60s. And again, I want to refer you to Stephen Gowen's great book, Washington's Long War on Syria. The reason we wanted them so badly is because they wanted to oust American interest. And they're Arab nationalists in the form of just wanted to control their own resources and wealth. We could not have that. This has been a long time coming, and it's terrible that it's happened.
Trump is not playing their game. He's really upsetting a lot of warmongers right now in Washington, D.C., and I am there for it. I hope we do not have any further involvement in Syria, and I hope that we do see a ceasefire in Ukraine very, very soon.
Well, the New York police...
Los radicales están dispuestos a todo, menos a chocar con los rusos. Inesperado ha sido el mensaje de la oposición siria que ha revelado el inicio del diálogo entre los extremistas y el gobierno ruso. Uno de los representantes de dicha oposición lo ha anunciado en una entrevista con el medio ruso Sputnik News. En los últimos días, informes internos han señalado cómo el despliegue de sistemas de defensa S-400 y ataques en Idlib desarticularon puntos clave de los rebeldes. Más allá de las armas, la presencia de fuerzas especiales rusas y su red de inteligencia desactivaron intentos de sabotaje contra sus dominios. Con canales abiertos para evitar lo inevitable, los extremistas han reconocido una verdad crucial. Chocar contra Rusia es una opción inviable.
Y la pregunta es, la Argentina desde aquel 24 de marzo del 76, donde tocamos también el tema del primer despacho que hizo el 24 de abril de 1978 Macera del puerto de Rosario, yo pregunto, ¿Sufre de narcocriminalidad o la Argentina se ha convertido en un narcoestado? ¿Cuál es la mirada, Carlos, al respecto?
Lo que pasa es que la Argentina es un país dependiente capitalista y por lo tanto es un país narco, porque nos hemos convertido en la plataforma de exportación de tal magnitud que somos los terceros exportadores del año 2016 en adelante de cocaína, desde ese mismo año segundo exportador de metanfetamina y terceros, mejor dicho séptimos en marihuana, con lo cual evidentemente nos hemos convertido en un país de exportación y de altísimo consumo, lo que genera esta contradicción tan fuerte en el abajo, la gente de los sectores populares, en donde hay consumidores consumidos y también sicarios y asesinados. Esta es la dialéctica.
Armas de guerra que exceden al parque de armas de fuego que tienen estas bandas narcoterroristas. Pero escuchen.
Arreglo y hiciste para que se calme Rosario y darle más poder a tu banda. Hiciste matar a gente inocente, armaron todo para tapar a tu banda. Gobernador mafioso de Santa Fe, haga algo para los chicos, que no se hagan delincuentes, hagan trabajo, escuela, dejen de hacer política con los presos. A vos, señora Bully, vieja mafiosa, dejá de embarrar la cancha y echar leña al fuego, porque estamos instalados acá en Buenos Aires. Vamos a empezar a dejar muertos acá ustedes, los fiscales de Rosario.
Hoy la Argentina es un país próspero para los narcotraficantes. Somos un país que recibe droga, la transforma, la vende internamente y la exporta a Europa, África, Asia, Australia, Medio Oriente y a países vecinos como Chile y Uruguay. Según la Oficina de Naciones Unidas contra la Droga y el Delito, la Argentina es el tercer país proveedor mundial de cocaína. El consumo ha crecido exponencialmente, empujado por un narcotráfico que se siente libre para expandirse.
La frontera norte, que ahora con el apoyo del narcotráfico, del ejército, fortalecemos la lucha contra el narcotráfico.
Otro tema que en el día de hoy acaparó todas las miradas. Un escándalo, sí, tal como ven en pantalla, de alto vuelo. Y tenía que ver con este helicóptero que están viendo ahora. Helicóptero ploteado con la imagen de la policía bonaerense.
Lo curioso, nos explicaba una colega en Paraguay, que cuando el piloto fue a informarle a la agencia que nuclea a los pilotos en Paraguay, le dijo que había ingresado con un helicóptero Bordeaux.
No ploteado así como...
Y estaba así.
Claro, lo que pasa es que era lo que constaba en el acta que se firma, registro en el aeropuerto, claro, ¿no? Pero claro, bueno, evidentemente no era cierto porque a menos que lo hayan ploteado en estos días. Es de la empresa Beach Flying. Este helicóptero había realizado en marzo de 2019 un viaje de Formosa a Asunción. Ahora había sido encontrado en un hangar en medio de un operativo que tenía que ver con una investigación por narcotráfico. Claro, rápidamente todas las miradas fueron a la provincia de Buenos Aires, a la provincia de Buenos Aires hoy cuando se encontró este helicóptero. ¿Pero qué fue lo que supimos después? Bueno, que pertenecía a este helicóptero o había sido contratado en el marco de una contratación millonaria por el gobierno de María Eugenia Vidal y que hace tiempo que ya estaba en Paraguay. ¿Qué es lo que hay que decir?
¿Pero a quién se lo contrató?
Bueno,
a un amigo del expresidente Macri.
Bueno, la empresa se llama Beach Flying, exactamente.